Now, when we were talking about different levels or sort of different types of refuge, different categories of fear and different categories of motivation, etc., it somehow indicates that maybe there is sort of hierarchy in the system, or I don't know, for different beings, I guess, different beings. So this chapter, the chapter on the Tibetan word is rik. There are so many Sanskrit words. I just give you a first general idea. I think the word rik can be translated as a type. Maybe. It can be understood as a type or a family, species, I guess. A species, family. Like tiger belongs to cat family, isn't it? Right? Cat family. And I don't know. Certain animals belong to a certain type or type, family. This is quite a big study in the Mahayana study. And probably it has also to do with the Indian thinking. India had this thing and still have this idea of caste. Probably little related to this. Different caste. Okay, so you belong to shoemaker caste. I belong to sweet maker caste. Actually, in some of the spiritual system in India, this caste duty is considered very, very holy and very special. There's a whole thing about, there's a text called Bhagavad Gita, beautiful and very, very profound, actually, where basically it is the whole Bhagavad Gita, the song of the Lord, the God, Krishna. It actually happened just before a battlefield, mainly just before a battlefield. And it's actually part of a really, really long epic called Mahabharata, I think. I'm not sure. I forgot all these things. So anyway, it's a battle between 5 brothers and cousins. 5 brothers are in one sort of team, and then their brothers and cousins. And there's this amazing, really special warrior called Arjuna. And he was just about to shoot his arrow, something like this, to kill his enemy, who happened to be his cousins, not only his cousins, but also his guru, also some of the gurus, basically same family. Not to be taken very literally also, because this Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita, they are very, very special. They're really profound. There's so much metaphorical teaching there. But anyway, then he realized they are all his kins, and he then broke down and he said, I'm not going to do this for the sake of a mere kingdom, for my throne. For this is so worldly, the kingdom and king's throne is so worldly. Why would I kill my own family for this? And it was at that time his chariot driver, Krishna, is a very important sort of figure, God, whatever you want to call it. And he gave these teachings of what we call Bhagavad Gita. And there, this is one of the big subject where he said, he told Arjuna, you are thinking like Brahman is like another caste, supposedly the highest caste now. But anyway, Krishna said, you are a warrior. You should do your warrior's duty. This is your duty. A warrior doing, and you are thinking like a sort of a renouncant, sort of like a monk-like. That's not your duty. You are built. Your caste is a duty. Your caste is a warrior. And as a warrior, if you do your caste duty, and if you actually didn't do that well, still it's better than you change your caste duty and do it really good. So on and so forth. It's a very big thing. And I think in the much later, as usual, we human beings, we get so corrupted and we interpret and we pull here and pull there. But I think the whole that caste, they call it Savadharma, I think. Savadharma, the caste system got abused. Of course, the Brahmins, they consider themselves as very high. And then they tell the Shudras, untouchable. Well, actually, untouchable is even beyond caste. They're like, I think like someone like me in a very, very, in this kind of area, someone like me and probably most of you, we are untouchable. We are not even worthy within this duty. This caste. Anyway, this is a kind of a big Indian thing, big Indian culture that went back long time. Now, Shakyamuni Buddha, Gautama Buddha, and Mahavira, which is also another great Indian, you can call him saint, scholar, amazing thinker, discoverer. Buddha has always been considered a revolutionarist. He was really he was probably one of the probably the earliest in India who actually said that there is no creator God. There is no almighty force out there. It is your own mind that is doing all this, that's creating the world. That's a very revolutionary thing to do. You have to remember 2,500 years ago, you have to, it's so normal now, probably with atheists and scientists and free thinkers roaming around the street. Maybe this is nothing special. But during those time, it was a very special thing to say, So anyway, that's one of the thing he said. And then the other thing that probably this even put him into trouble, was he was really going against this caste system, saying that there is no like high caste, low caste. Family. Caste is something to do with the family. You belong to, if you are born in a royal family, then you do that royal duty. If you are a warrior, you do that duty. Yeah. So even actually, if you look at the Buddha's life, even the very fact that even though he was a warrior, he was not considered, like going back even before. Mahayana people would say that Buddha chose to be warrior caste, which is not even the highest. It's the is the second one. Because in the scripture, the Brahmin are the highest. Okay. Anyway, so he was born in a warrior family, but he decided to renounce the world, which is now opposing his caste duty. It's not his job. That's renouncance job, kind of like maybe Brahman's job. I don't know. Anyway, his teaching, it has a lot. There's so much of that. To this day, it has an impact. India, even though it is birthplace of the Buddha, India really doesn't have Buddhism flourishing for not just recently, and it has been going on for a long time. Probably India lost big part of Buddhism for maybe more than 1,000 years. Actually, it's China who really embraced Buddhism and practice Buddhism and support Buddhist thinking and system. If you count Buddhist emperor and king in India, you can maybe barely make it like 20, 25. In China, probably more than 200. So it's quite different. Anyway, now having said all of this, keep this in your mind as a background. So now here we are still talking about a family. This chapter is about a family, caste, or rik, dhatu. It's a species, maybe the most easy way for you to comprehend, maybe. Anyway, so here in the Mahayana, they talk about the two kinds of family. One is innate family, and the other one is a family that can be progressed, that can be cultivated. So the innate family, we already talked this morning. According to Buddhism in general, and especially Mahayana Buddhism, we all have the Buddha nature. So we belong to Buddha family. Can you see now where this is going? Because you see, this is almost like against the voice of, okay, there's a hierarchical sort of high caste, lowest caste. So not like that. Everyone has the Buddha nature. Everyone. Remember, we talked about the or and all that. But now this brings several issues or questions. Okay, so everyone from a butterfly, a dog, a vicious animal, compassionate teacher, very ruthless butcher, everyone has this Buddha nature. Okay. Everyone has this Buddha nature, and according to Maitreya, actually, this Buddha nature is intact. Nothing gets missing. Somebody can be a butcher or a killer or a mass murderer for lifetime after lifetime, for billions of lifetimes. But the quality of this Buddha nature never gets waned. This is what the Maitreya would say. Okay, but this is a little complicated. Most of us, we are not aware of this potential or this family. This caste or this element. Actually, I think many translators seems to translate it as element, which I like. This aspect of element, we have it, but most of us, we don't know. So it feels like we actually don't have this potential at all. So in fact, in one of the Buddhist school, which is Chittamata school, mind-only school, in fact, some of the masters even sort of seemingly say that there are caste or beings who don't have Buddha nature, which is kind of depressing, you understand? But this is very, very minority. I think what they are pointing at is those people who just totally forgot and who have no what do you call it? No knowledge about it. Yeah, no knowledge. Okay, let me walk through this one. This is a little complicated. Okay, now you are not a Buddhist. You have no Mahayana information. You have never heard what Buddha nature is. Okay, not only in this life, probably in the past life or even before that. But as a being, and especially as a human being, now this becomes a kind of important thing. As a human being, you go through life. And as you go through life, actually, whatever you wanted to achieve, you achieve. Let's say you wanted to get a good grade in the school, you did it. After the good grade, you wanted to get a good job, somehow you got that too. And then you wanted a good flat, you had that, everything. And now you are nearing around 40 or 45. Then you feel like, okay, sort of, is this all there is? I mean, is this it? Is this life? Now, someone like Maitreya will argue, this is your element calling. This sort of empty, sort of, feeling, awkward. Okay? Actually, it's considered really, really, really precious that someone like great teachers like Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, he was one of the greatest, he said that he called it genuine heart of sadness. Yes, I think he coined that word, genuine heart of sadness. Okay, I will give you some other indication. One is, okay, you are driving in the middle of Sahara Desert. There is nobody there. Nobody. And then, I don't know, somewhere in the middle, you see a kilo of gold. There's nobody. Nobody has ever, there's nobody called CC camera, nothing. Then, and also, this is important, and also your parents were totally sort of materialistic. Okay? Finder the keeper, that kind of education. You grow up with a finder the keeper, ethic, morality, not a big issue. Okay, of course, when there's a red light, you should stop because you don't want to get killed. Other than beyond that, doesn't matter. But okay, now you are in the desert and you're driving, you see this piece of gold. Should you take this? You understand? And if you feel a little bit not good, okay, let's say you actually take it and you actually feel, maybe I shouldn't have done this. You understand? That kind of awkward feeling, again, element is calling you. The genuine, this basic goodness of human being is actually calling you. These are very, very, very mediocre, gross analogy I'm giving you. It's just to help you. But there's a much more difficult than that. I mean, much more sophisticated signs and indications. I don't know. And in the Theravada tradition, I think they talk about fear of wrongdoing and shame. Most of them tell you this is like fear of doing fear of wrongdoing, shame, or this is not a you don't want to do something that if someone else do it to you, you won't like it. So you use your own as a reference point and try to either help others or not harm others. These are good indication of this basic goodness of human being. Okay, so this the element, we are still talking about the elements. Okay, so based on that, now there are some people who, some types, some species, or some types of people, types of human being who really like, I think even from a very young age, I think this, I don't know, maybe I'm being too, I don't know. I think the a sense of empathy, I think, empathy. Not wanting others to feel pain or suffering that you know you will have if situation like this occurred to you. And then genuinely longing for a solution to be away from this kind of pain, this kind of suffering, to just, towards you, just yourself. Okay, I'm trying to give you what a reason why there is a seemingly hierarchy. What we were talking this morning, like some have like a kindergarten level of fear. Why it happened like that? So two things, right? One is innate element, innate, basic, fundamental element that we all have. No one's element is better than the others. No one's elements is lesser than the others. But now we are talking about the second kind of element. Based on the first element, or the first sort of family, the element is the best word. Based on the first element, we actually have more inclination. This is why the Buddhists also, in the relative world, Buddhists also talk about reincarnation. And the karma, good karma, so on and so forth. And it really goes in to all the way up to the Mahayana level, Mahayana level. For instance, like even the shunyata, emptiness, the teachings on emptiness. When I think it was Shariputra, when Shariputra asked Shakyamuni, to whom should we teach emptiness? This kind of, this kind of subject. One would think that because the shunyata, teaching on emptiness, is so logical and so deductive, and that involves a lot of deconstruction method, one would think Buddha would have said, for those who are more intellectually oriented, who are smart, who are educated, who think a lot, who really analyze a lot. But he never said that. He said that you should teach emptiness to people who, by even mentioning the name emptiness, it gives them goosebumps. It creates tears in their eyes, longing for, even though it doesn't make sense. The emptiness is quite a big subject. What does it mean? No eyes, no nose, no this, no that. But if you feel like, wow, this is poetic, this makes kind of this makes me feel good. This makes kind of sense in a very nonsensical way. To these kind of people, the shunyata should be taught. Because these kind of people have that progressive element. So that's basically, what do you call it? Based on this progressive element, we also talk about yanas, vehicles. So then it's because of that. Why, many religion are really, really practical and simple. It's so nice, like if I have the authority, like the Buddhist sort of authority, I would really want to simplify like this. But Buddhism is not like this. It's so complicated. Like even if you read Vajrachedika Sutra, just one sutra you read, what you read in the beginning part, and middle part, and the end, they're all sort of contradictory. Everything, even the view, fundamentally the view is same, but the portion of the view, how much it is revealed, is different. Even how he taught, sort of the strategy of his teaching, very generally, this is a big generalization. There are chunks of teachings where he taught how not to be non-virtuous, how one should be virtuous, how you should be generous, how you should be peaceful, how you should not harm others, so on and so forth. But then there is all other teachings where he taught there is no person, self, ego, selflessness. This is where he taught the shunyata a lot. See, these two teachings are already contradictory. I don't know whether you have ever thought about this. Like if you go to Thailand or Sri Lanka, Theravada countries, I'm sure here there may be a lot of Theravada students. I don't know whether you have ever thought about this. Theravada, in the Theravada teaching, they talk about selflessness. Of course they do. But at the same time, they emphasize a lot on accumulating merit. Like giving alms, paying homage or obeisance to the Sangha. So these are contradictory, you understand? If there's no being, no body, no self, who is it that's accumulating merit? There's a lot of this. Okay, so there's a and then there's a second. Okay, the third type of teaching, where where Buddha said, as long as there is a view, you have a wrong path. Even the shunyata, even the concept of emptiness is deconstructed. So this is why I think it's not like okay. So there's a Sharvakayana Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. It's not really like a Protestant and Catholic. I don't think so. I don't know so much about Catholic, and it's not like like Shia and Sunni. It's got nothing to do with some dispute or different ideas of two cousins or two family members it's not like this. It's really to do with a different element. Okay, there's a people who wants to get the hell out of samsara. They're too frantic. They're frantic. They want to go to the nirvana. They don't want to hear, oh, well, wait. There is no such thing as a nirvana. There is no such thing as a samsara. Those two are just a dualistic illusion. They might beat you up. They say, what do you mean? I am here. I am in pain. I want to get the hell out of this. Give me a method. So you need to address to these kind of issues. Then there are people who have much more grander element, so to speak, who can actually understand, who can actually chew and swallow the illusory aspect of both samsara and the nirvana. And this is where teachings such as the Mahayana Sutra, Shastra, Alangkara, like this is taught. Okay, just varieties of elements now, just briefly. There are, okay. So I'm going to give you some sort of picture on this one, okay. So remember, we were talking about a paradoxy this morning. Okay. We are looking at something which actually exists, but at the same time it does not exist. Like all the illusion, like the rainbow. Okay, so we are looking at this. Depending on what kind, how and when and situations. There are two seeming manifestation. It's there, but it's not there. Yeah, two manifestations, but they are one. Okay, but we can never see it as one. Due to different circumstance and your own habit, one of them will take precedence. one of the element. So let's say you face a situation. This time, it's there is taking more precedence than is not there. You understand? It's there. So you totally forget that it's not there. You got it? Okay, this is kind of important for the Mahayana study. So, it's there. You totally forget that it's not there. Okay, what can this do? It can do several things. Actually, many things. One, it's there. Let's get it. If it is a favorable one. It could be a problem also, right? So let's say it's something really beautiful. Let's get it. It's there. Really believing that it's there. So on and so forth. So you develop desire, longing. Somebody else is about to get this in your imagination. Jealous. And actually someone else got this before you. And then you get really angry. You understand? So all that emotion starts. But anyway, you experience a situation due to some circumstances. It's there is controlling you faster than it's not there. It gives birth to what we call eternalism. Eternalism. You become eternalist. You believe in like God. You believe in things like, I don't know. Okay, now in the other way around. You are about to die. Doctor just said you have only 2 weeks to live. Moment you hear that you have probably the biggest, I don't know, tumor in your head or something like this, and you're going to die. The information, how the information is delivering to you, how it is now going inside your head, somehow made you forget. Because then it's a negative, like you are going to die. It's not there is happening, right? So this information of it's not there taking precedence over, it's actually there. Then you become so depressed, you become so hopeless. Anger towards those who don't have your situation. Why is this happening to me? I was just, I don't know, some really not so ridiculous, maybe, like I was just going to do this and that. I don't know, like I just bought a beautiful table yesterday. Now I have only two weeks to live. All my savings gone to this table. So on and so forth. Basically, totally forgetting the element of it's not there. So I'm just giving you a picture of how the elements, different elements. Now this is only a 2 example. Masters of the past have written so many commentaries. From each of these came lots of different elements, something like a major 64 different elements and so on and so forth. As I said, both of them can create desire, anger, jealousy, pride, doubt, and so on and so forth. And both can be, and any of this element can be seemingly positive and seemingly negative. So it's like a really, really, really infinite varieties of element. For instance, like here, right in this room, generally we can all say we have jealousy, we have anger, kind of, because, but this is a big generalization. But we have some many other emotions that are so unique, which we also add upon, by the way. I think I was just saying this yesterday. We have now new emotions that we learn from emojis, for instance. If somebody sends you a picture, emoji of a, this, right? It actually does have an impact. Depending on the different context, it makes you happy or unhappy or angry or whatever. You understand? So we have so many different new emotions. Also with a different food, and I'm sure, like, what do you call it? The mutant emotions. Like a lot of different kinds of emotions. Like one of my unique special emotion is not remembering the password. That's not like I have many other forgetfulness, but not remembering the password is something so unique. You understand? It's like, this is getting worse. And there are now some of these, what do you call it, the internet, they create password for you, but I was also told you are not supposed to trust any of this. Somebody is watching over you or stuff like that. So it doesn't make sense. They create my secret password. How am I, all that. So we have lots of emotions. And because of our different kinds of emotions, we have also different kinds of manifestations of emotions. Oh, so many. We have many different ways of trying to ask for help. We have many different ways to draw attention. Like we do things, I don't know. Some people laugh like a horse just to get attention. Some people talk squeaking like pigs just to get attention. You can tell the moment they're alone, they don't do any of these horse-like laughing or squeaking like pigs. They don't do that. They're totally normal. But the moment they're out, then they do like buffalo-like walking. I don't know. There's so many. And then, of course, others don't understand. Some other people get so, biologically it bothers them when they hear horse-like laughing. It really it disrupts their elements. So all that miscommunication and what do you call it, conflict. Anyway, this is the elements we are talking about, and all these elements are basically categorized into three. This is why Sharvakayana, Pratyakayana Buddha, and then Bodhisattvayana elements. And depending on what element you are, what do you call it, you have, I would say more likely, there's even some, there's also, remember, the sort of really infant level of elements, like just want to just want to be safe, just want to be comfortable, just want to be safe, just want to stay out of trouble kind of element. Most likely we are that. And sometimes we have a little bit of a Sharvakayana element, and most of the time Mahayana element is just like something nice to read about, something kind of inspiring. If it is inspiring, then that means you have that element a little bit, but you need to cultivate. You need to cultivate. So basically what I'm saying is, let's say you are around 45. It doesn't have to be 45, but I'm just giving you an example. Everything is sort of doing well, everything is going well with you, more or less, but somewhere deep inside, you feel like there's something missing. You are asking like, is this it? Now, that if you take that chance, this opportunity to cultivate this kind of mind stream, this kind of element, then Bodhisattvas element will grow. Because, why? Because of the innate element, because of that fundamental element that you already possess. Maybe let you ask some questions for the afternoon. Yeah. If you can try to ask questions only on this level, on this subject, and maybe not ask questions on anything to do with the Vajrayana. Yeah. Such as Ngondo. Okay. And after this chapter is the chapter on the bodhicitta. And I think it makes this kind of auspicious that tomorrow, on a special day, we take the Bodhisattva vow so that we can actually explore more on bodhicitta. Okay. Yes, please. Does somebody have a mic, or how is this going to work? Oh, I think you need to walk there, right? Okay, Chaho, why don't you ask?
Can you speak more about elements? Is element self?
Is element self?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question. Wow. Okay. Okay. So, if you are talking about a self that is truly existing, independent from others, then it is not self. But for now, when we say whenever we imagine ourself, we are usually looking at four things, isn't it? Your form, your body, that's the most outer one. Me, I, we are referring to head, feet, hand, and probably my fashion, my hairstyle, but basically the form. And then much more inner is the feeling. Feeling is much more inner and much more stronger than the form. My feeling hurts. You hurt my feeling. Kind of feeling is really, really important. Nothing more than feeling. Isn't there a song? Probably these people are too young. Yeah, you are young too, I think. Then much, much more sophisticated, much more powerful, but much more subtle also is mind. When we say I, we are talking to body, feeling, or mind. And then even more subtle than this is, we call it dharma, which in this case means phenomena, reference. All kinds of reference. Gender, nationality, people who appreciate, I don't know, Marxism, liberal, conservative, kind of this kind of Buddhist, non-Buddhist, not believing in anything. All this kind of reference. So within this, the element element is kind of all pervasive, but more with a mind and the reference. I hope I answered the question. Okay. Do you want to go there? Yeah. Please.
Testing. Good afternoon. Actually, honestly, this is the first time I joined this, and
I have a sympathy towards you then. Okay.
So I wanted to ask. So this morning you are talking about what is real and then what is not real. Like it's there, it's not there,
Yes.
right? And then I wanted to ask. So basically, many things in life, for example, like attention, work, money, and many things. It seems like it's real. That's something that we need.
Yes.
Yes, but when you look up to detail, it's not real actually.
Very good. That's the whole book you are telling. Yeah.
Well, what I want to ask, is sometimes we are confused to seems how to react to all of this thing in life.
Yes.
So I wanted to know how to react towards all of this thing, because we need like attention, we need works, we need money and everything. Thank you.
Well, remember, just this afternoon, beginning of this afternoon, we were talking about how, okay, so it's there, but it's actually not there also together. But due to some reason, okay, it's there, and then we get carried away by this, forgetting this.
Yes.
You understand? So there are thousands of techniques how to not forget that they are actually one. They are. Are you talking about that? Are you asking me to tell you a technique how to handle this?
Yes, because sometimes people become, more obsessed or something because of that.
Okay. Just because you ask, and just
well,
because
maybe
you
this
ask,
seems like a kid asking, so I just want to know.
Just because I'm a follower of these, the author of this, and then it's somewhere inside here. If someone asks this kind of question, you can, as a follower of this, you cannot not answer. Okay, so just because it's a really big question, what you are saying, there is thousands of ways, but I will tell you, since you said you are new to this, I will tell you a technique, what you should do, okay?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, of course.
And this is, I think you should do it. Starting from today, like this afternoon,
Yes.
you should count, you should look for 7 cracks.
What is that?
Cracks. You know, crack? You know, cracks have, wall have cracks.
Yes.
Roads have cracks. 7. Only 7. And whenever you look for a crack, there's a crack. Cracks.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, I understand.
That's it. Don't do anything else. No mantras, none of this. And I am really serious. This is not a, new age method. You please don't put me into this. You understand? This is actually backed by thousands of years experiment and tradition and the wisdom. It's based on needing, many times we get carried away by thinking, we need to do something meaningful, something useful. Counting 7 cracks, that's like not going to pay you a bill. That's like the most useless thing. You understand?
Yeah.
But if you keep on doing this, starting from today, for about a year, and it's going to be challenging because after about 2 or 3 days, you will be very bored with this. I'm serious. You'll be very bored. You will think this is meaningless. This doesn't look holy. This doesn't sound holy. You don't want. If someone asks you, "What are you doing?" you are so embarrassed to talk about it because they will think that you have gone crazy. I'm counting cracks because some Buddhist told me to do this. You don't want to. You can't share this with the people. You understand? Mm-hmm. But this doing useless thing is important beginning. And this is what I was talking this early morning, wabi-sabi, in the training. If you really do this, I think you will really begin to appreciate how things are as useful, as beautiful, as useless, as meaningless as cracks. Everything. I think so.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Okay. Any more question? Yes, please.
Thank you, Rinpoche. I have a question. In the morning, you said all the problems are temporary, so we have to go back to ourself, that is our Buddha nature. So my question is a Buddha nature something permanent and internal? So is it just compound things? If possible, can you maybe describe what is exactly that Buddha nature? Thank you very much.
When we are now as I said right in the beginning, in the morning, language is vague. It's not enough. And because it's very vague and it's not enough, everything what I'm going to say is going to have a flaw. But on the intellectual level, Buddha nature is not really categorized as a compounded or both uncompounded phenomena. It is not really a phenomena or phenomenon. Because it is something beyond subject and object. But you see that this is the thing. We as a human being, we just can't fathom something that is not a subjective and objective. This is, For instance, okay, this is why many of the Buddhist philosophers, they would say that a scientist believing in something like a Big Bang, independent from subject, they say that it exists there without a subject. Because the Buddhists will say, oh, Big Bang only existed ever since when there is a knower of a Big Bang. You understand? Before that, it's not even a phenomenon. For a Buddhist, Big Bang and a God is equal. It's all created by one, created by scientists, the other by a theistic. But Buddha nature, yes. The Buddha nature that you and I are talking is concept. It's a conception. It is created by your mind and my mind. But that's the only tool we got. We have to use this. We have to contemplate on this. Okay. So it's like this. Because it sounds like kind of I'm talking about something that is unachievable. Because Buddha nature is inexpressible, is beyond words, beyond this, beyond that. So then, as a student, as a practitioner, as someone who is dwelling on the path, how should one acquire or get this thing that is inexpressible? Okay, so here is a solution, and this is where Maitreya is so good. He's really good at this. So let's not think about Buddha nature. Let's think about all that is wrapping the Buddha nature. Okay, so defilements like a desire, anger, duality, all these thoughts, all these defilements, all these emotions, they are destroyable. They are purifiable. I mean, just the fact that they are not solid and they are not permanent. For instance, like your anger comes and it goes. Your anger is compounded phenomena. Your anger is manipulatable. Let's say you're angry with this. Now, if I want you to stop getting angry with this, I can maybe skillfully turn your anger to this, something else. So anger, emotion is manipulatable. So this is a good news. This is a good thing to hear, because this means is we will not be stuck with this. So they are purifiable. This is what we were talking about, the temporariness, the temporary purifiable aspect. So if we can contemplate on that, if we can invest our time and energy on purifying this, then the absence of this is Buddha nature. So still you are imagining, but you cannot not imagine, because you already have a mind. So you need to work hard so that you shrug off the mind. You have to shrug off. You have to get rid of the mind. Okay, when we come back, we can continue. Okay, we take a break.